Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counterspy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the inner sanctum.
Don-MacLachlan, Mandel-Kramer, starring in an episode of Counterspy. This episode goes back to August 23rd, 1949, and it is the case of the bouncing bank robber.
Pepsi-Cola, P-E-P-S-I. That's your smartest cola buy. Pepsi-Cola presents Counterspy.
Washington calling David Harding, Counterspy. Washington calling David Harding, Counterspy.
Harding, Counterspy, calling Washington.
United States Counterspies, especially appointed to investigate and combat the enemies of our country, both at home and abroad.
Tonight, the case of the Desert Explosion. Another Counterspy report to the American people. Out in the desert mountains of Mexico, the heat has long since destroyed all life. Except high in the air, the ominous circling of great bloodthirsty birds of prey. And on the hard, sun-cracked earth, a small group of men with one woman moving slowly to the base of a cliff.
Very well. We stop here. Senora. Senora. Listen to me, Senora. And you men, you will listen too. You have all worked for me for some years. I pay you well. No one in Mexico can deny that. But you know, too, I will not allow anyone to betray me and live. This woman, this miserable wretch and her husband, one of my most successful operators in narcotics, tried to sell me out. Her husband, he is already dead. And now this woman shall die here.
No.
Her death will be a lesson to all of you. Never to talk. Never. Senora, look. Above you in the sky. You see the birds? The birds of death? Do the rest of you understand? I see you do. Now, Senora.
No.
Now, gentlemen, we shall leave.
Some weeks later, at midnight, in a cafe in the Mexican city of Cordoba, a trim, alert-eyed girl sat drinking alone. As a young, roughly dressed Mexican entered at the front door and approached her, she glanced down into her open purse and drew confidence from the .25 caliber revolver nestling there.
Hola, guapa.
Keep it clean, Junior.
In Mexico, guapa means pretty.
Pretty what?
Pretty nifty. I know American slang too, no?
No.
Oh, then you teach me.
Teacher's not in the mood.
Oh, you have a little temper, but I sit down and help the mood to change, eh? Senorita, you are as beautiful as the doves of my native village.
Take it easy, Buster. You'll wear yourself out.
Hola, mozo, 12 veces.
Sí.
Good to see you again, Peppy.
You have news?
We've taken a ranch house 20 miles outside the city.
We?
Me, you'll call me Ella Thomas, and the boss, Mr. Jones.
I'm ready to work with you.
The man we're after is Manuel Rodriguez.
The Manuel Rodriguez?
Careful, the waiter.
Sí.
Ya sentados.
Sí, aquí está.
Muchas gracias.
Nada.
Now, Pepe, tell me what you know about Rodriguez.
He is one of the richest, most fantastic, most powerful men in Mexico. And one of the cruelest. An international broker of secret information. On his enormous ranch not far from here, he gives big fiestas.
Hey.
When American dancing shows come here, he invites everybody. He may keep guests for a week. People from all over the world. And, when I met on his ranch are said to be large poppy fields for opium. He's a big dope smuggler.
That's our boy.
Most of his enemies disappear. He said he takes them into the desert and murders them. Others remain silent out of fear.
It'll be a great thrill to outsmart him, Pepe.
You have a plan?
First, you're to get an ordinary peon's job on the Rodriguez ranch. That ought to be easy.
At this time of the year, yes.
In my hand under the table, in small packages. Take them.
See. I have them.
The drug in the blue paper will cause large blotches on your skin.
Dios mío.
Now, they're harmless. The drug in pink paper will make the pupils of your eyes dilate.
Uh-huh.
And the one in white paper, you'll run a quick high fever without any bad results.
And then?
In 2 weeks, Mr. Jones and I will visit Manuel Rodriguez and his ranch. We will explain that we are agents of the United States government.
Counterspies?
Why not? And that we have come to arrest you.
Oh. Very good. Now, another drink, eh? Hola, mozo! Mozo!
Yes, now, what did you say your business was, Mr.
Jones.
Oh.
I didn't say, but I will, Mr. Rodriguez. Miss Thomas and I are agents of the United States government.
Counterspy.
On Mexican soil?
We've just rented a place 9 miles from your ranch here.
The old Gomez place, huh?
Oh, old is right. And the reason
And we're in Mexico to recover a quantity of a new uranium compound worth over $1 million. It was stolen from one of our atomic plants.
And you think I have it, Mr. Jones?
We think it's here, on your ranch.
I do not enjoy jokes of this kind.
We'd already recovered the stuff and shipped the criminals back to the States for punishment.
But before we could leave, too, the uranium compound was stolen again.
And again I ask, do you think I have it?
Well, you know how to handle it.
Let me, Ellen.
Oh, for Pete's sake, let me finish a sentence once in a while.
Mr. Rodriguez, as Miss Thomas says, you would know how to handle uranium. But the thief, we're afraid, does not.
Incredible.
You see, it was swept up along with some money, a watch, a few papers out of a safe in my room.
How did you learn that, Mr. Jones?
One of our peons confessed that 2 weeks ago he and another man got drunk and ransacked my room.
The peon with a guilty conscience?
Mr. Jones used a whip. That's how we found out about Pepe Ramirez.
Pepe Ramirez?
Ah, then he is working here.
Follow me to his shack, please. We'll question him. I must tell you, however, he is very ill. My ranch doctor is back.
Have you seen him yourself?
Really?
Is his skin badly blotched? Pupils of the eyes dilated?
You running a high fever?
How did you know his symptoms?
Those are the early symptoms of uranium poisoning.
That clinches the theft on Pepe, Mr. Jones.
Through this door, please. Mr. Jones, do you mean that this miserable peon is hiding $1 million worth of a new uranium compound?
How else would he get uranium poisoning?
Right here. Under my very nose. The shack is down this way.
No, Senor Rodriguez, I did not steal.
Pepe, these people want the truth.
Better talk, Pepe.
I am sick.
I'll make you sicker.
Pepe, where did you hide the uranium? One more chance, Pepe, or we beat it out of you good.
A whip, Mr. Jones?
No, I think he's cracking now.
Please, I did not know. See in this bunk.
His bunk.
That's better.
Pull him out of there.
No, please, please.
To rip out the mattress.
Put on your gloves first, Jones.
Gloves?
There's special gloves. It's the only safe way to handle this stuff. Now, the mattress.
Nothing.
Try the board.
Yeah.
Is there anything?
Here we are. See?
That little bottle. Worth $1 million?
Maybe more. To some government abroad.
Yes, I can imagine. Now, may I offer you both some refreshment back in the house?
No, thank you. We've got work to do at our own place.
Perhaps I may call on you in the next few days.
Business, Mr. Rodriguez?
Purely social. If you don't mind, Miss Thomas.
Not at all, Mr. Rodriguez. Jonesy, he fell for it 2,000%.
A perfect trick.
When he saw that little vial, his tongue hung out like a hound dog.
$1 million, he thought, right under his nose. And he hadn't known it.
Jonesy. Behind us on the road, the car following.
10 to 1, it's Rodriguez.
Following to see where we go with the bottle.
Maybe find out if we really are counter-spies or not.
You think he was putting on an act back there?
He's clever enough to.
I'll swear he thought Peppy was really sick.
Lucky those drugs you gave Peppy fooled the doctor.
Well, nothing to do now but get back to the Gomez place and see what happens.
With guns handy and backs to the wall. That car still following?
Same distance.
Maybe Rodriguez will pay that social call of his right away. He fell for you hard.
Yeah. He noticed you and I don't get along.
I'm betting he makes a try for this little vial. He won't stop at anything if he thinks he can get away with it. And he may start tonight.
Jonesy. Somebody's lurking around outside the ranch house. I've seen a shadow several times.
Rodriguez?
He should either go away or come in. I don't like the suspense.
He may shoot. Stay away from the windows.
Can't we pull something on him?
We might. Yeah, let's try it.
What?
Get out our suitcases. Start packing as if we're leaving. Maybe that'll hustle him into action.
Worth trying, anyhow. My bag's in the closet.
Ella, I think if we drive the rest of the night, we can make El Paso by daylight.
Sure we can. We'll check with the boss when we get there. Here's your briefcase.
Keep it up, Ella.
You know, it's a darn shame we got that call to leave so soon. I like this part of the cut.
Now we find out the worst. I'll go. Oh, hello, Mr. Rodriguez. Come in.
Mr. Jones, you forgive this unexpected visit sooner than I planned. Ah, Miss Thomas, how charming you look.
Yes, and haven't I changed in the last 2 hours?
Packing, Mr. Jones? I understood you were staying some days more.
Well, we got a hurry call.
Oh, this gives me no time to cultivate the acquaintance of Miss Thomas.
I'll come back someday, Mr. Rodriguez.
Or perhaps you are not even leaving, either of you.
What?
You are not United States counter-spies. You yourselves are the thieves of that uranium material.
Mr. Rodriguez, you're all wrong.
Further, you yourselves intend to sell it.
We don't know anybody with $1 million.
Shut up, Ellen.
You never let me talk.
Miss Thomas, suppose you did know someone with $1 million.
We're American agents, Rodriguez.
You are not. You're a pair of crooks. Now, suppose that vial contains the uranium compound, and you knew someone with $1.5 million.
Well, that'd be...
Up, Ella. Go ahead, Rodriguez.
Can you prove it is the real uranium compound?
Let's say we could.
Then in 3 days I can raise $1.5 million. Cash. American dollars.
And then you'll resell the material abroad for $10 million,
That would be my risk.
Take the deal, Jonesy.
Okay, Rodriguez. We'll prove it's the uranium compound. 6 drops plus certain other ingredients can be set off by a cap attached to a fuse.
Uranium is not set off that way.
I told you this is a new secret development. It can be used dozens of ways.
You will show me now?
If I let you know where the stuff is hidden, our lives won't be worth a nickel.
Cautious, aren't you? Very well. Where and when?
We'll pick you up tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 and lead you to some deserted spot in these mountains around here.
Good. Until tomorrow, Mr. Jones, Miss Thomas.
Oh, you won't see me there. I'm going over to Gulf City and wait for a phone call from Jonesy. And you?
It shall come from me, Miss Thomas.
One had better come from Jonesy, too, Mr. Rodriguez. Or I tell the Mexican police that you left him in the mountains with those man-eating birds you've got around here.
You are both very clever. Good night.
August 23rd, 1949, Counterspy on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Whether you're taking your pets on the road or a walk around the block, you need to be aware of heat stroke. Hi, I am Dr. Jose Arce, immediate past president of the American Veterinary Medical Association. It's important that pets get out and enjoy the warm weather and fresh air, but here are some reminders to help keep your pets safe in the heat. Tune into the day's forecast to see how hot it will be. Limit exercise on hot days or schedule walks earlier or later on the day when it's cooler. If outside, stay on the grass instead of the hot pavement. Make sure your pet has unlimited fresh water and access to shade. Never leave your pet in a closed vehicle, and leave your pet at home in air conditioning when you go out. If you see signs of heat strokes in your pet, such as excessive panting, drooling, unsteadiness, or abnormal gum and tongue color, call your veterinarian or nearest emergency clinic. For more info on summer pet safety, visit avma.org. That's avma.org.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more of Counterspy from August 23rd, 1949.
It is hot, blazing noon in the desert mountains of Mexico.
Rodriguez, we're 40 miles from any other human being. Now, here's where I've set up the experiment. It'll be fairly safe, I hope. A few drops of the uranium compound plus the other ingredients and a fuse. If you're ready?
Mr. Jones, look at those birds of prey circling above us in the empty sky.
I guess we look like a meal to them, huh?
We call them birds of death. They're cruel, powerful, bloodthirsty. If you try to cheat me, Mr. Jones, I will break both your legs with bullets and leave you here alive for those birds.
Cute ideas you have, don't you?
Light the fuse.
Now run. We have 8 seconds.
Oh, wait! Mr. Jones, I fell! Help me out!
Up with you. 3 seconds lost. Come on. Behind these rocks. Just made it.
Perfect, Mr. Jones. I apologize for my suspicions. I will have the money for you in 48 hours.
Where?
Your ranch house?
Fine. And I'll be ready to show you where the material is.
Until then, Mr. Jones, I'm driving away now.
Come on out, Ella.
Coming. I thought sure he saw that wire running to the battery I'd hidden.
Luckily for us, his greed's making him blind.
What if he followed us out here last night when we set up this fake uranium explosion?
When he fell down, he was really scared. He never suspected it was fake.
But to fall for this, 3 cents worth of harmless powder posing as uranium, 6 charges of ordinary TNT.
Stop worrying, Ella. We've got Rodriguez hooked. Come on, let's get to our ranch.
Ranch life may be great, Jonesy, but I don't like cooking.
Only another day to wait.
For a vegetable, you want Mexican beans or Mexican beans?
I'd rather have Mexican beans.
Good, that's all we got.
And then I... Put out the light.
Got it.
Out the back window. I saw somebody coming.
Rodriguez, ahead of time?
Get just beyond the doorway to the dining room. I'll stay here. You cover me with your gun.
Right.
Mr. Jones?
Yeah.
I'm David Harding, United States Counterspy. May I come in?
Can't stop you, can I?
You alone?
Yes, Chief. Okay, Ella, come on in.
Coming. Mr. Harding, am I glad to see you.
Hello, Ellen. Sorry to put you two through this rigmarole.
Dave, with Rodriguez around, safety first is the best motto.
Oh, Mr. Jones, can we use the shortwave radio?
Right here, Mr. Harding. It's hidden in the cupboard.
I want the Mexican Secret Police in Cordoba. What's the frequency?
Channel 18.
Harding to SX, Channel 18. Come in, Channel 18.
Channel 18, answering David Harding. Agent Pepe Ramirez speaking.
Hello, Pepe. Rodriguez has fallen for our cock and bull story about that stolen uranium. Now, all we need is one break so we can get other people to talk to us about Rodriguez. You'd better stand by in case they need help.
Right.
Now, Washington. Harding to Channel 1. Come in, Channel 1.
Channel 1, Mr. Harding, go ahead.
But first, these important words. August 23rd, 1949, Counterspy on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You ever make a change and then think, why didn't I do this years ago? Well, that's how people feel about switching to Medishare for their health care, especially now with inflation the way it is. People are very happy with the savings. Most families save about $500 a month when they switch. It's a huge help when prices are going up so fast in so many other areas. And Medishare's customer satisfaction rate is double that of health insurance. It's just a different experience, and people really like that. Medishare is an alternative to health insurance. It's a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills, and it's been going strong for over 25 years. It really is the gold standard, the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. Find out why people love it, find out why they rave about the customer service, and find out how good it feels to save some money right now. They're super easy to talk to. Here's the number, 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE, 833-34-BIBLE.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, Counterspy, the case of the bouncing bank robber, August 23rd, 1949.
Edwards, from now on, keep this channel open 24 hours a day. I may want instantaneous check on fingerprints.
Right.
I'm with Peters and Ella in Mexico in their ranch house. I flew in this morning when things got hot. We're getting the best line yet on our old friend Rodriguez, the espionage broker.
I hope you land him this time, sir.
We've got a baited hook out for him, but with that man, I'm not going to wait for him to bite. I'm going to cram it down his throat.
Mr. Rodriguez, it's Ella. Let me in. Mr. Rodriguez, hurry quickly. Let me in.
Mama, so late at night.
Rodriguez, it's off.
What happened?
I had a fight with Jones. You know my temper. I hit him with a paperweight. I think I've killed him. Please help me.
Of course, Ella. Where did you leave him?
Back in our ranch house. He's on the floor, all bloody. Mr. Rodriguez, I don't know what I'm going to do.
My dear Ella, I'll look after you.
But the police, they may discover the murder and look for me.
If need be, I can hide you forever.
What?
Don't worry. We must go there at once.
I don't want to go back there.
My dear, I was planning to buy that uranium compound. Now, can't you and I get it for nothing? Come. Ella, it's pitch dark in here.
I know. I cut the light and telephone wires when I left.
You have a candle?
Yes. There's one beside you on the piano there.
Ah. That's better. And here's our friend, Mr. Jones.
Alive. Thank heavens he's alive.
But not very much alive. Now, the uranium compound.
I know where it's hidden.
Get it.
Just a moment.
Hidden behind a picture on the wall? What an obvious place.
It was safe. You're the only one that even knew we had it.
Let me have it.
Here. Watch how you handle it.
Now, to arrange matters for you.
Me?
You will leave all your clothes here except what you actually need. From the shallow grave of a woman I had to dispose of, not far from here, I will... You will not mind being impersonated by the bones of a dead woman.
I don't get it.
Then we will smash this place up a bit. This bookend, that mirror, for instance.
What are you doing?
Planning your death, Miss Thomas.
I've got a gun, Rodriguez.
Your apparent death in this house burnt out by an accidental fire.
Oh.
While you hide on my ranch until we go to Europe, secretly. And now to finish off Mr. Jones.
You're going to kill him before you set the fire?
Of course. This other bookend will do.
Stop it, Rodriguez. Hands in the air, Rodriguez.
I'll take that bookend.
Rodriguez, you're under arrest by the United States Counterspy.
And the Mexican National Police.
Ridiculous.
One charge, violation of the international agreement covering the safety of atomic material and information.
I was not in this alone. This woman, this man Jones.
By the way, Jonesy, you okay?
Fine. Only tired of lying on the floor.
Rodriguez, meet Mr. Jones, or let's call him Harry Peters, my assistant.
But you have no evidence. No one will dare to speak against me.
Rodriguez, you're a murderer. You kept people silent by fear. The gunmen and narcotics runners who worked for you were afraid to talk. Now that you're under arrest, they'll be free to tell everything they know.
By the way, Mr. Harding, here's the uranium wrapped up in his pocket.
He earned that, Ella. Let him keep it. It's only a few cents worth of harmless powder. I'm sorry, Rodriguez, but illegal possession of uranium is the one charge we can't hang on you.
Tonight's Counterspy program originated in New York, was directed by William M. Sweets, and featured Don-MacLaughlin and mandel-Kramer, with music by Jesse Crawford. Counterspy is a Phillips H. Lord production for Pepsi-Cola. Enjoy some Pepsi, ice cold tonight.
August 23rd, 1949, Counterspy on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, an episode of the soap opera Claudia. This episode goes back to August 23rd, 1948.
And now, Claudia.
Don't tell me you're finished with your newspaper.
I'm finished.
Well, miracle of miracles, you've only read it half an hour.
It's the age of speed.
Mrs. Norton, do you realize that the whole summer has gone by and we haven't been to the summer theater once?
That is true.
Please, don't make it sound as if the whole summer has gone by and nothing as important as going to a summer theater has taken place.
Mama, what was the important thing about this summer?
You have added to the family.
Mama means the rooster.
Oh, but he's such a little rooster, he hardly counts.
And it seems to me I acquired a grandson sometime around the early part of July.
Mama means Bobby.
Such a little Bobby, he hardly counts.
I think for an old lady like myself,
Tottering.
I think it's been a pretty full summer.
Still, we haven't been to the summer theater. And it's practically just around the corner.
Only 12 miles around the corner.
Oh, that's a pretty near corner for Connecticut.
Tell me this, what's the use of living in the country if you don't squeeze every last ounce out of it?
Are you calling the Eastbrook Summer Theater the last ounce?
He is.
More than that, it's not summer without a summer theater.
As long as we know it's there, it's summer.
And that's not enough for me. I have to see it personally.
Don't tell me, Mr. Norton, that you want to go out for another evening's entertainment.
Don't mind if I do.
But just the other night, we almost went to the movies, and now
Claudia,
again...
don't look now, but I think your husband is turning into a very going-out man.
Darling, are you saying this because you think I'd like to go to the theater?
That you'd like to go happens to be a coincidence. The fact is, I'd like to go.
Honestly, you don't have to go for me.
Can a man do what he wants anymore? I want to go.
Gadzooks.
I echo gadzooks.
Where's that playing? What's so startling about it? I like the theater.
And I love the theater. It was my first love until you became my first love.
I hope you're flattered, David.
My head has swelled, Mother. My hair hardly fits it anymore.
No.
As I was saying before you changed the subject, Mrs. Norton, I love the theater.
Ooh.
And I propose that we go to the theater tonight.
You mean Tonight?
And what's the matter with tonight?
Nothing's the matter with tonight.
And that settles it. On to the theater.
Oh, I love things you do on the spur of the moment. They're much the best.
Count me out.
What's the matter with you, Grandma?
I have to wash my hair. I put tonight aside to wash my hair.
You're just like your daughter. Anytime anything important comes up, she washes her hair.
You'll just have to go without me. Think you can bear it?
We'll miss you, Mama.
Good. A miss is better than a mistake at any time.
Mrs. Brown, I would appreciate your coming. Claudia loves to have someone next to her to whisper to during all the exciting scenes.
She's all yours,
It's
David.
not true what you're saying about me. I never utter a peep during a play, now do I?
We shall see.
David, has this business been brewing in you for a long time?
My soul has been curdling with desire to go to the Eastbrook Summer Theater. I even married into the theater. That should prove my love for it.
Into the theater? You married me right out of the theater. I wonder if I would have been a great actress if you hadn't discovered me before I was discovered.
Who knows?
She was pretty good in dramatic school, David.
Tragedy or comedy?
It was a little hard to tell.
I was reversible, like a raincoat. Good on both sides.
Sometimes I feel conscience-stricken that my gain was the theater's loss.
It's a heavy weight to carry, isn't it, David?
Oh, I'm bent in two.
I'm tired of talking about me.
I've always thought you were a fascinating subject to talk about.
Well, since we're all in accord that I would have been the world's greatest actress, if I hadn't decided to be the world's greatest mother, we can go back to the subject at hand, which is we is or is we ain't going to the theater tonight?
The meeting will come to order. All in accord signify by saying we is.
We is.
All opposed say.
We isn't.
The ises have it.
David, you don't think we ought to get tickets in advance, do you?
I do not.
It's one of his principles, Claudia.
Like reserving a table.
If there isn't a seat for my wife and for me, a pox on their theater.
If there isn't a seat, it's a good pox office.
I told you she belongs on the stage.
Well, since we're going, I have to comb my hair.
By the way, what's
The
playing?
new play, it's called Forever Noon.
What on earth does it mean?
That's what you are going to find out.
Who's in it?
Your lady friend is in it.
Which one?
Oh, he has so many.
Which one, David? You haven't forgotten her so quickly, have you?
Blonde or brunette?
It depends.
Little cat.
Stop pretending. You know I mean Victoria Manners.
Oh, Vicky.
You see, Mama, how intimate he is? He calls her Vicky.
So, she's the leading lady tonight. What a stroke of luck.
Eyes light up, Mama.
I don't blame them. She is quite a woman.
Sometimes I wish I were the kind of quite a woman she is.
What for?
What do you think? What for?
You're all right the way you are.
It's not exciting.
No, but I'm easily satisfied.
That's good. Still, I'd love to be quite a woman.
Now, stop worrying about it. I wonder if we'll run into Jim Varney.
Oh, I expect so. It's his theater, isn't it?
What is he, the producer or director?
Claudia, you haven't seen him since the baby, have you?
Not since he decided I was too pregnant to be an ingenue.
You sorry?
What do you think? Theater's only from 8:30 to 11:30, darling. But Mrs. Norton, she's from 8:30 to 8:30. 24 hours a day.
And since it's almost 8:30 now, go comb your nose and powder your hair, or we'll be late. And you don't have time to wash your hair. Well, we're almost here. Mid-makeup and mosquitoes.
Oh, hurry, 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 David.
Now, we've got plenty of time. Just take it easy.
Heavens, there are lots of people here. And cars.
Usually, in all the summer theaters I've seen, there are more people on the stage than there are in the audience.
I hope we can get seats, darling.
Stop worrying about it. We'll get seats. Oh, I'm in luck. Here's a place to park. Right in the middle of a 10-acre field, a cow pasture.
Moo!
Better not be so funny. We may have Bossy in the back seat before the night's over. Here, step down.
Oh, thank you. Listen, David, seriously now. How do I look?
Let me take a look at you. Ooh, for a girl in a cow pasture, not bad.
Not bad.
Mm-mm.
Is that all I look?
Yeah, you look like you. What more do you want?
Oh, lots more. Oh, dear, my hair's all blown around.
Well, I like it that way.
It is not stylish.
I say it's all right now.
You're too easy to please, as you said before.
For which you ought to be grateful.
Look at the line in the box office.
You worry about everything, don't you?
Well, somebody has to. David, everybody's so dressed up.
Now, you stand over there. I'm going to purchase ourselves 2 seats in the 3rd row center.
Optimist.
And don't move.
How can I move? I'm hemmed in.
Well, look who's here.
Why, Mr. Varney, hello.
Well, little lady, I haven't seen you around all summer.
Well, I've hardly been around all summer.
I must say, you're looking fine, honey.
I'm feeling fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, too.
That's good.
Yes, fine.
What's the matter? Is my slip showing?
Was I staring? Well, I guess I was.
I didn't realize people would be so dressed up.
You know, I hardly recognized you.
I knew you right off.
I was standing over there with the box office, and I saw you coming. I stared for a moment and said to myself, Varney, old man, can this be Claudia Norton?
It was.
Much to my surprise and delight, honey.
Thank you.
You know, I'm afraid I didn't realize you could look this way. You're so, slender.
Oh, no, not really. I put an inch on around my waist.
You did?
Yes. Of course, it doesn't look like much to you because the last time you saw me, I had an awful lot of inches around my waist.
Was it a boy or a girl?
His name is Bobby.
Certainly wonderful what having a baby can do for a woman.
You mean after she's had it?
Yes, I suppose that is what I mean. I'm almost sorry I wasn't more foresighted.
About what?
Well, just professionally speaking.
Oh.
There have been a few parts you could have played around here.
Oh, I've been awfully busy, Mr. Varney. You know, having a baby takes quite a while, even afterwards. And, of course, we were in New York. We haven't been back very long.
I wish you would have called and said you were here.
I didn't think of it. Now I wish I had, too. How's the play going to be tonight?
Well, who knows? It's a tryout.
You don't sound so enthusiastic.
I have had the author on my neck. It's his first play.
Oh, well, I think anything Victoria Manners is in is bound to be a success.
Well, I hope you're right. The main thing about Victoria is that she has the author so terrified he hasn't been half bad about all the cuts and changes as he might have been.
Well, I guess there's some good in everybody.
You have a sharp tongue, too.
What do you mean?
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Claudia.
David, you remember Jim Varney, don't you?
Well, I certainly do. Hello.
I was just telling your wife it's good to see you again.
Well, it's good to see you. Looks like you're having a very successful summer.
No tickets, David?
No tickets, not a one.
Oh. Well, isn't that wonderful for you, Mr. Varney?
You don't mean that we're sold out.
That's what the man behind the bar said. Well, I guess we might as well go home, darling. I'm sorry.
Oh, don't be silly. How are you supposed to know? David, aren't you delighted for Mr. Varney that the theater's going so well?
Pleased as pie.
I don't think David's as delighted as you are. I think he has the layman's point of view. We people of the theater appreciate good box office more than anything else. Don't we, Claudia?
Yes, we do.
We?
And don't look so discouraged. Jim Varney always has an ace in the hole.
Well, aces aren't going to do us any good, Mr. Varney.
Would a couple of seats in the 3rd row center?
On thin air?
Here are the tickets. They're yours. Oh, I always keep a couple for special friends that might drop in.
How?
Now, take them, you two nice people, but be sure you laugh in the right places and clap where you should.
I'll clap until my hands are blistered.
Look here, I want to pay for this money.
No, you owe me nothing. But I owe you something.
Us?
I owe you congratulations.
Oh, you mean my son?
Oh, no, anybody can have a son, but Mr. Norton, you have a wife. And she's quite a woman. Yes, quite a woman. All right, now have a good time, and maybe we'll get together after the show.
Well, thank you.
David, don't look at me like that.
I'll look at you any way I please.
Is anything wrong?
When a man has a wife who's quite a woman, nothing is wrong.
Then I am quite a woman after all.
Why do you think I married you?
The very thought of having a party is enough to give some women the jitters. They look ahead to planning, shopping, preparing food and serving, and the pleasure of having people come over is almost gone. They could spare themselves the turmoil by having simple food plus plenty of ice-cold Coke. Everyone likes Coca-Cola, and the pause that refreshes puts people in a party mood. And a smiling, untroubled hostess is the first rule for a successful party. Do your entertaining with Coca-Cola and watch the pleasant results.
Say, Mr. King, why didn't you warn me?
Warn you? Of what, Mr. Varney?
Well, about Claudia. I had no idea that she was so, well, you know.
Well, live and learn, Mr. Varney.
Oh, I'm awfully glad I did.
And don't be discouraged with yourself because you think Claudia pulled something over on you. David's still learning, too.
He is?
He's going to have a fine lesson tomorrow.
Now, what kind of a lesson can a husband get?
A baseball lesson.
That's a new one.
Be around tomorrow and get a few pointers for yourself.
Oh, I think I'd better. Oh, hey, it's curtain time. I'll see you, Mr. King.
You bet, Mr. Varney. Every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes, and ice-cold Coca-Cola is everywhere. These broadcasts are adapted for radio by Manu Starr, and the entire production is supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney.
I always say this is such a sweet show. No real antagonists in the show, just pleasant. A husband, a wife, and their now new little boy. Claudia, August 23rd, 1948, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thanks for making us a part of your day. Would you do me a favor and thank this station and support their advertisers? It's their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time you roll around here on your favorite station. If you miss a day, you don't have to miss a single show. You can hear each and every edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox at our webpage, classicradio.stream. That's classicradio.stream. There you can stream our shows on demand. You can learn more about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can contact me. You can find our social media links. And you can also buy me a copy if you so desire. That buy me a copy money is earmarked to go to acquiring new great classic radio theater programs for you to hear here on your favorite radio station. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Please, as I said, thank this station, support their advertisers, and most importantly, tell your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the radio dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.